At the age of 35, Ryan Mendoza was living and working in Italy. Then, in 2016, Ryan suddenly learned a truth from his adoptive parents that would change his life forever. He was adopted. According to the story Ryan had been told, he was born in the Philippines and given up for adoption when he was still an infant. He was even told that he had been given away to settle a debt for 3,000 pesos, about $63 at the time. After learning the truth about his identity, Ryan decided to return to the Philippines to search for his biological parents. He wanted to know who they were and, most importantly, to discover what had really happened to him as a child. In May 2018, Ryan returned to the Philippines and began his search for his biological mother. But he could never have imagined that the journey would be this complicated. His search was followed by GMA's Kapuso MO, Jessica Soho, KMJS. Over 6 episodes, as a series of clues gradually emerged, eventually leading to a DNA test that would uncover the truth. Here is Ryan's story, compiled from GMA's sources. 35 years searching for his mother, 2 women claimed him as their son. DNA revealed the truth. For anyone, it would be heartbreaking to discover that the parents who had been by your side for years were not your biological parents. And even more painful would be learning that you had been given up for adoption from the moment you were born. Ryan Mendoza was one such person. Yet, Ryan has always been grateful to his adoptive parents because they gave him a loving and warm family. He said, "The love that my parents gave me, they gave me even more love than my biological parents could have." Ryan's adoptive parents, who continued to support their son throughout his search for his biological mother, also shared, "Ever since that little boy came into our lives as a couple changed so much. We were truly happy." When Ryan learned that he was adopted, he had very little information about his origins. According to what he had been told, his biological mother was named Gina Molina and had worked at a club. She was said to have met a soldier, became pregnant, and eventually gave birth to him. Ryan was also told that because of her difficult circumstances and her inability to pay the rent, he had been given away to settle a debt for 3,000 pesos. Ryan was then given to an elderly fish vendor named Aling Toyang, who later passed him on to a childless couple who adopted him. Eventually, Ryan was taken to Italy. Ryan once told KMJS, "My father was a soldier. He got my mother pregnant. I was given to an elderly fish vendor to be adopted. I heard that because she was very poor, the old woman gave me to Taya Oring in Cabanatuan. Taya Oring was a regular customer of my mother at the ready-to-wear clothing store. However, none of the information Ryan had been given was certain, and those vague, conflicting details would later make his search for his biological mother far more complicated. One of the first people to help Ryan with his search was Father Nick, a priest in Catanduanes. One of Father Nick's parishioners knew Ryan and knew that he wanted to return to the Philippines to search for his biological parents. The parishioner approached Father Nick and suggested connecting Ryan with KMJS. Father Nick recalled, "One of my parishioners came to me and said, 'Father, I have a friend who is an OFW in Italy, and he has come back here to look for his biological parents. Father, let's bring him to Jessica Soho.'" From that connection, Ryan's search for the mother he had never seen officially came under the watch of KMJS. And while waiting for new clues, Ryan had just one simple wish for the mother he had been searching for all along. "If I find my mother, I will love her very much." The first clue emerges. During the search, Ryan found a man named Mang Dominator, who might have been his biological father. This was a very important moment in Ryan's search. But instead of relying solely on feelings or similarities, they decided to conduct a DNA test. However, the results did not match. Dominator was not Ryan's biological father. Even so, the two decided to continue treating each other as father and son. Meanwhile, the KMJS team continued following Ryan's search for his biological mother. At first, several women sent their photos and information to the program, claiming that they might be the woman Ryan was looking for. However, when the photos were shown to people who had known Gina, they said that none of the women in the pictures was the Gina Ryan was searching for. Then, the owner of a bar where Gina was believed to have once worked provided a new clue. Gina's surname might not have been Molina, could have been Castillo. The team continued their search. Eventually, they found a woman named Gina Castillo. At first, she denied ever giving a child up for adoption. But after watching a video of Ryan, she changed her account and said that she felt a sense of blood connection when she saw him. But the story did not end there. At the same time, another woman came forward, claiming that she was Ryan's biological mother. She was also the only woman who was believed to have known Aling Toyang, the woman who had once acted as the middleman in arranging for Ryan to be given to another family for adoption. The second woman appears. The second woman believed to be Ryan's biological mother was Maritz Tolentino. Maritz's family contacted the program and said they suspected that Ryan might be the relative their family had lost many years ago. According to the Tolentino family, Maritz had cognitive difficulties. She had once become pregnant by a man who was older than her. The two lived together for some time, but eventually separated. Maritz's family also mentioned Aling Toyang, the woman who had cared for Ryan and was involved in the process of giving him up for adoption. However, the story told by Maritz's family differed in several important ways from what Ryan had previously been told. According to them, after Maritz gave birth, Aling Toyang took the baby and arranged for him to be adopted by a childless couple. The Tolentino family also denied that Ryan had been given away in exchange for money. Instead, they said they had refused the 3,000 peso payment that Aling Toyang had offered Maritz's mother. These details made Ryan's origins even more difficult to determine. Previously, Ryan had been told that his biological mother had worked at a club and had become pregnant. Those details, however, seemed to fit Gina Castillo's story more closely. Meanwhile, Zenaida, Aling Toyang's daughter, was also found. She confirmed that her family knew Maritz's family. Zenaida recalled that, when she was a child, she saw her mother caring for a baby named Joel for a period of time. She believed that baby was Ryan. Ryan later visited Zenaida, and the two were overjoyed to meet each other. Zenaida offered one possible explanation. Perhaps her mother had never told the adoptive family the whole truth about Ryan's biological mother. If the adoptive family had known that Ryan's biological mother had cognitive difficulties, they might have been worried or even decided not to adopt him. And so, Ryan was now faced with two women who could potentially be his biological mother. One was Gina Castillo, whose story seemed to match much of the information Ryan had been given. The other was Maritz Tolentino, who had a connection to Aling Toyang and presented a completely different version of how Ryan had been given up for adoption. So who was Ryan's real biological mother? Gina Castillo or Maritz Tolentino?
I feel 100% that Ryan is my son. I don't believe they are his parents.
She is wrong. I am the one who is right. He is my child.
To find the definitive answer, Ryan and the two women agreed to undergo DNA testing. The DNA results moved everyone to tears. According to the DNA analysis, one of the two samples matched, while the other did not. In other words, one of the two women was Ryan's biological mother. After several weeks of waiting, the moment to reveal the DNA results finally arrived. Ryan returned to the Philippines. He, Moritz, and Gina were all at the same hotel, but the program kept them in separate rooms. All three were visibly anxious as they waited for the results. Then the result was revealed. Moritz Tolentino was Ryan's biological mother. Upon hearing the news, Ryan did not hesitate. He went straight to the room where Moritz was waiting with members of her family. For the first time in his life, Ryan was able to embrace the woman he could now confirm was his biological mother. After 35 years of living without knowing for certain where he came from, he finally had the answer he had spent so long searching for. They embraced each other, and everyone was overcome with emotion. Ryan held his mother tightly and said, "Even though my mother is like this, she is still more clear-minded than the people who abandoned their child. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, everyone." But there was a particularly touching moment during the reunion. After meeting his biological mother, Ryan still chose to visit Gina. He comforted her and told her that he hoped that one day, she too would be able to find her own biological child. Before returning to Italy, Ryan spent his remaining days in the Philippines with his mother, Moritz, and his biological family. The mother and son also visited the grave of Ryan's biological father, Sergio G. Santos, who had passed away many years earlier. Ryan said, "We never actually got to meet. At least now I know where my father is. It turns out he is resting in a proper place." Ryan also celebrated his birthday with his mother and biological family in the Philippines for the first time. For him, this was perhaps one of the most memorable moments of his life.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
As for Zenaida, in an interview with GMA, she also defended her late mother and wanted to make one thing clear. Aling Toyang had no bad intentions when she helped arrange for Ryan to be adopted. She said, "I just want to clear my mother's name. It wasn't like that. My mother was a good person. When Mother Toyang couldn't take care of the child, she helped find someone who wanted to adopt him. She was only helping. She didn't receive anything in return."